Hi everyone, I'm Sir Mel and welcome to Mathematics in the Modern World. If you are new to my email channel, please don't forget to subscribe and click the bell button for more notifications. Today we're going to discuss about the different examples in problem solving. What is problem solving? Problem solving is the act of defining a problem and later implementing a solution. So let us put it in this way. I have 2 points, point A and point B. Point A is the problem. Point B is the solution. In between of these 2 points are what we call problem solving. So, problem solving is the process of working through details of a problem to reach a solution. So in line with this problem-solving concept, let us have this best mathematician who able to conceptualize problem-solving, and it is in the name of George Puglia. So who is George Puglia? So George Puglia, born and died on 1887 to 1985. He was an Hungarian mathematician who immigrated to the United States in 19th century. So obviously, his greatest contribution in the world of mathematics education is what we call problem solving, as he designed the four-step process. And what are those four-step process? So let us enumerate it and explain it as much as possible one by one. First is understand the problem, and the keyword is see. This is the most crucial part of problem solving since most of the learner, students, or even the teacher fail to really understand the given. So it's really need more time to read it as much as possible. Read the problem more than once. Here, devise a plan would be the second step, and the keyword is plan. In this case, you really need to consider all the different strategies that will help you to picture out the solution in a given problem. So, it's really need some background or foundation so that you can able to draw a basic step or a major step for you to have the solution. Third is the carry out the plan. The keyword here is do. Obviously, in conducting the problem solving, it's really need to for you to carry out it. So as much as possible, you need to review your mathematical skills, your logical skills, as well as your critical skills in order for you to follow all the important steps to arrive with the same answer or accurate answer. And lastly, we have look back, which the keyword is check and interpret. So in this case, you're going to make some assessment whether your final answer fitted to what is really required or asked in the given question, especially the units, especially those values that are really suited to the given problem. So these are the four-step process made by George Puglia for us to really able to find the right solution with a step-by-step method in solving problem. So right now, I have prepared a lot of examples for us to apply George Puglia concept in problem solving. So shall we consider this first problem? And this is about numeric word problem. So let us read together. Twice the larger of two numbers is 3 more than 5 times the smaller, and the sum of 4 times the larger and 3 times the smaller is 71. What are the numbers? So after reading this problem, some of you here might feel irritated, frustrated, bothered, or worried, or really even fail to really understand the problem. Or some of you here might feel interested, excited, or feels challenged to reveal all the solution in this given problem. So let us have now apply the four-step process of George Puglia for us to really deliver the right step by step in solving this problem. Shall we have the first step? Understand the problem. The C. So make it sure that you read the problem at least more than once. So after reading and reading and reading it again, probably you're able to draw that the problem is only looking for the numbers. And what are those numbers? We are talking about the larger and smaller number. So in this case, under the understanding the problem, we can represent the larger or smaller number in such a way we can determine them easily that we are looking for these two numbers as x as the larger number and y being the smaller number. So let us have the second step, devise a plan. So think of a way to solve the problem. Since we already knew that we have the larger for x and smaller for the y. So in this case, we're going to use all the necessary information which found in the given problem, so by equation. So in this case, we're going to equate or we're going to formulate an equation by sentence. So when we say twice means two times. So twice the larger of two number is means equal 3 more than 5 times the smaller. So 5 times the smaller, then more than means plus. So we're able to create the first equation. Twice twice the larger of two numbers is equal 3 more than 5 times the smaller. So in mathematics, since commutative property is applicable, whether we rearrange the order of the addends, still it gives the same sum. So we can apply, instead of putting 3 plus 5y, we can make it as 5y plus 3. So let us move with the second equation. The sum means plus 4 times multiplied by 4, the larger which is the x, and 3 times multiply the smaller by 3 is means equal. So we have now the second equation. So we have 4x plus 3y equals 71. So in this case, these are the most essential strategy, which is by equation, for us to help us in solving the problem. Okay, so the third step is about carry out the plan. Since we have these two equations, we can manipulate this equation for us to get the value of x or the value of y. So in this case, I want to equate an equation from equation 1. So meaning to say, I'm going to create an equation from equation 1. So if I am going to use the equation 3 from equation 1, it is must be in terms of x. So if I am going to divide all equation by 2, I will create the equation 3 as x equals 5y plus 3 over 2. So it is not logical if we're going to equate equation 3 to equation 1, but rather we're going to equate equation 3 to equation 2 for us to solve the value of y. So in this case, we're going to bring down the equation 2 as part of the given. Then let us try to substitute all the value of x on equation 3 on the given for x. So we have now here, so by substitution. So right after that, we're going to distribute 4 on the terms inside the parentheses. We call it as distribution. So 20y plus 12 and everything retains. So right after that, it's hard for us to solve an equation if there is a denominator. So it's best to multiply all equation by 2, that is by multiplication, in order for us to remove the denominator of 2. So by simply multiplying the 2 to all equations, or given equations, so we can have now 20y plus 12 plus 6y equals 142 by simplification. So since we are very concerned with the value of y, we're going to transfer the constant, which is 12, to the other side. From positive, it becomes negative. That is what we call transposition. So as you notice, the 20y and 6y symbols or sign retain, but the 12 change into negative because we transfer it to the other side. So right after that, 20y plus 6y is very applicable to add, as well as 140 minus 12. So we have now 26y equals 130 by combined like term. So since we are very particular with the value of y, we're going to divide the whole equation by 26 by the inverse of 26, that is 1 over 26. Then right after that, we're able to get the value of y. So here, 130 divided 26 equals 65 over 13. Over 13 is the lowest term, but 65 and 13 are still divisible each other by 13. So we have the final answer of 5. So in this case, we're able to solve the value of y. However, we are still looking for the value of x. So let us try to use equation 2. Then let us create an equation from that equation 2 and try to solve it so that we can have the value of x. So here, I have the y equals 5 for the value of the y. So right now, I am going to solve for the value of x from the equation 2. So since I am particular with the x, so I am going to express equation 2 in terms of y. So I have here 3y equals 71 minus 4x. You just transpose the 4x becomes negative. Then right after that, divide the equation by 3. So you have now the equation 4. So the same process, you're going to bring down the other equation to make it logical. So bring down, so by equating equation 4 to equation 1. So here, bring down the equation 1 by given, and then substitute all the value of y from equation 4 to the given equation. So we have now like this by substitution. Then right after that, we're going to distribute 5 to all the terms inside the parentheses. So we have this product. And then again, it's hard for us to solve the equation if it has a denominator or one of the term is in the fraction or rational form. So we're going to multiply all equation by 3, that is by multiplication. Then right after that, we're able to remove the rational and everything is in a whole number numerical coefficient. So we have here 6x equals 355 minus 20x plus 9. Again, we are very concerned to the value of x. So what we're going to do is we're going to transpose negative 20x to the other side. So from negative, it becomes positive. So the picture is like this by transposition. Then right after that, since very applicable to add them by constant and by variable itself, so we have now 26x equals 364 by combined like term. Again, in order for us to solve the value of x, we're going to multiply both sides by the inverse of 26, which is 1 over 26. Then right after that, we're able to get 364 divided by 26, which is 14. So in this case, we're able to get the value for the smaller, which is 5, and the larger number for which is 14. So the last part is look back. We're going to check and interpret whether our answer is right or wrong. So obviously we're going to do the checking and we're going to do it simultaneously. So let us just substitute all the value of x as 14 and the value of y as 5. So we're going to do the substitution simultaneously here. So the left side is 2 times 14 is 28, 5 times 5 is 25 plus 3. 4 times 14 is 56 plus 3 times 5 is 15 equals 71. So we have here. Then right after that, simplify everything and we're able to get the same equals. So meaning to say, the larger number is 14 and the smaller number is 5. That is how we're able to solve problem number 1. Okay, let us have the second problem. Again, let us read together. A police station has 51 vehicles of tricycles and cars. The total number of wheels is 167. Find the number of tricycles and cars the station has. So again, the first step is understand the problem or see. So by reading it again and again, you're probably able to have a possible solution and you're able to really understand the given problem. So here we are talking about vehicles and that are tricycles and cars. So here we're able to represent these two vehicles as x be the number of tricycles and y be the number of cars. Okay, the second step is devise a plan. So we already knew that x is for the tricycle and y is for the car. So again, in devise a plan, let us have a best strategy to be applied in this problem. So we know that we have 51 vehicles and 167 wheels. So we're going to create the equation. By doing the equation, let us just read and follow the sentence and able to draw a equation from these sentences. So a police station has 51 vehicles. So we know if we try to add tricycles and cars, there are 51. So we have now x plus y equals 51. Now, if we're going to add their wheels, we have 167. But the problem here is the tricycle has 3 wheels and the car has 4 wheels. So what we're going to do is we're going to multiply the tricycle by 3 and the car by 4 because that is the number of wheels in each vehicle. So we have now 3x plus 4y equals 167. So we know that if we have equation, it's very far enough to solve the value of x or to solve the value of y. So let us have now the third step. Okay, so since we have already the two equation, we're going to equate equation 1 or equate equation 2. So let us just have another equation from equation 1. Here I want to express equation 1 in terms of x so that I have right now the equation 3. Simply just transfer or transpose y to other side, it becomes negative. That is how I able to get the equation 3. So I am going to equate equation 3 to equation 2. That would be the solution. And just bring down the equation 2, part of the given, and substitute all the value of x by 51 minus y we have here by substitution. Then right after that, I am going to multiply 3 to the terms inside the parentheses. So right now I have 153 minus 3y plus 4y equals 167. That is by distribution. So since I am looking for the y, I am going to do the simplification on the y's part, or that is the variable of y, and constant to side as well. So I am going to transpose 153 to other side. We call it as transposition. Since negative 3y plus 4y is y or 1, so we have now y equals to 167 minus 153. So this time I will able to get the value of y by simply subtracting them. So the final answer is 14. In this case, I able to give the value for the y. So right now, in order for me to solve for the value of x, I am going to use the equation 2 and simply putting an equation or creating an equation out of the equation 2. So since I able to get the value of y, this time I am going to express the equation 2 in terms of y. So I have here y equation 4 equals y 167 minus 3x over 4. How? Simply, I just transfer 3x to other side, it becomes negative 3x. So I'm so concerned with the y, I am going to divide whole equation by 4. So right now, I have the equation 4. So the same process, I am going to equate equation 4 to equation 1 to solve for the value of x. So this time, I am going to use equation 1, bring down equation 1 rather, and then substitute all the value of y, okay, from equation 4, so I have here. Then do the multiplication. Why? Because I really need to remove or to rid of the fraction term here. So by multiplying the whole equation by 4. Then after that, by distribution, I have 4x plus 167 minus 3x equals 204. Okay, so this time I am going to put all the variable in one side as well as all the constant to the other side. So transposing 167 to the other side, it becomes negative 167. So since 4x minus 3x is x, so the final answer is 37. So in this case, I able to get the value of y, which is 14, and the value of x equals 37. Okay, so, but if you feels that it's hard for you to really understand it, I'm gonna offer to you an alternative solution to solve this problem, like in this way. So let us back to the second step, and that is the third step, and that is carry out the plan. So just bring down all the equation here. Then what you're going to do is the same process. You're going to have an equation out of equation 1 or equation 2. So I want to again equate equation 1 to have equation 3 as in x in terms of okay, in terms of x rather. So I have x equals to 51 minus y. So I am going to use equation 3 to equate it to equation 2, and then bring down equation 2, then substitute all the value of x found in equation 3. So we have here like this by substitution. Then right after that, I am going to distribute 3 to all the terms inside the parentheses. So I have 153 minus 3y, and the rest will be retained. Then right after that, I am so concerned with the value of y, so I'm going to transpose 153 to other side. Again, if you transpose, the sign will change. It becomes negative 153. Then right after that, I'm able to get the same answer, which is 14. Okay, so on the right side of the solution, instead of deriving another equation from 2 or equation 2, I am going to use the answer, which is 14, to solve the value of x. So I am going to use 14 to solve for x. Now it's up to you whether what equation you're going to use or manipulate is either equation 1 or equation 2. Since equation 3, since equation 1 is far simple or not complicated in terms of equation, so I'm going to use equation 1. Then right after that, I am going to substitute the value of y as 14. And then right after this, I'm going to transpose 14 to the other side. It becomes negative. And after that, you're going to subtract them. So the final answer is 37 rather, is the same as the previous answer. So again, we're able to draw these two variables value by simply using the equation 1. What if I am going to use equation 2 so that I can still have the same values for x 37 and for y as 14? So let us start with the equation 2. Okay, so I am going to equate another equation from equation 2 as in terms of y. So simply, you just transpose 3x to other side, it becomes negative 3x. Then divide the whole equation by 4. So I have here y equals 167 minus 3x over 4. Then the same process. I am going to equate equation 4 to equation 1 to solve for x. Okay, so simply use the equation 1, bring down as part of the given, then substitute all the value of y like this. And this is what we call by substitution. Right after that, since it has a term that is in a fraction or rational form, I am going to multiply whole equation by the denominator, which is 4. I able to remove the denominator and distribute all the 4 to all in terms inside the parentheses. So I have here 4x plus 167 minus 3x equals 204. Okay, since I am looking for the value of x, I am going to transpose 167 to other side, it becomes negative 167. Since 4x minus 3x equals x or 1x. So this time I will able to get the value of x as 37. Now, if I have already the value of x, how can I solve for the value of y? So the same alternative solution, instead of creating another equation from equation 1, I am going to use I'm going to use the value of x here. So to solve for y, the x must be equals to 37. So I will just use the equation 1 as, or I can also use the equation 2 rather. So simply just do the substitution, okay? Then do it again by distribution, like that. So we know that 3 times 37 is 111, retain the form y, and so on and so forth. But in this case, I am looking for the value of y, so I will transpose 111 to other side. It becomes negative 111 by transposition. Then, okay, do the simplification. Then, of course, when we divide both sides or the equation by 4, you will have 14. So that would how you get the final answer using this alternative solution. Okay, so that's it. So therefore, the number of tricycles is 37, the number of cars is 14. Let's do the checking here. So I will use the equation 1 and 2, and of course just try to substitute the value of x here. So since the number of vehicles is 51, so 37 plus 14 is 51. Since the number of, or the total, or the sum of the wheels is 167, 3 times 37 plus 4 times 14. Okay, simplify everything. So 51 equals 51. Check that the number of vehicles satisfy the given equation. Then let us have further do the simplification here. Then it finds out that they are the same. So this is the way how we're going to solve the second problem. So right now, let us move with the third problem. Okay, let us have now the third problem. And the best strategy to be used is search for pattern. So find the next number in the sequence. We have A, B, C. So again, the first step is to understand the problem. Okay, so we really need to use the ability to recognize patterns is one of the most important skills in solving this problem. Okay, so in this portion, I am only going to to solve with you the letter C. But I am going to explain A and B, how we able to get the answer. Okay, so shall we have the letter A? If you're going to find the next number, you need to consider the preceding and the succeeding sequence. Example, in order for you to get 9, think of a number that you're going to add, divide, or subtract, or even multiply to 5 to get 9. Since 4 is the closest number, to add to 5 to make it 9, then do it to the next number. So 5 plus 4 is 9, 9 plus 4 is 13, 13 plus 4 is 17. Then you see that the pattern by adding 4 satisfy all the succeeding number. In short, if you're going to add 25 by 4 rather, then you will have 29. So that is how you get the letter A. But on letter B, let us try to add, divide, times, or subtract a number to get the 6. If you're going to add 2 by 4, you will get 6. If you're going to multiply 2 by 3, you're going to get 6. Then let us go to the next number. If you're going to use the same pattern by adding it 4, so 4 plus 6 is 10. That will not satisfy the third sequence. But if we're going to multiply 6 by 3, then you will have 18. If you're going to multiply 18 by 3, then the product is 54. The same as if we're going to multiply 54 by 3, we have 162. So, if you're going to multiply 162 by 3, you have 486. And since the pattern shows satisfaction in the succeeding sequence, then we're going to multiply 486 by 3, so we will have 1458. Okay, so that is how we're able to get the next number on the first two letters, A and B. So right now, we're going to solve for the letter C. So since we have this as part of the given, then the requirement is the next number in the sequence. So the second step is devise a plan. Think of a way to solve the problem. So again, let us have this. We know that the first term is 2, second is 8, 18, and the last is 72. So probably we're looking for the 7th term, 8th term, and so on. So but this time, let's just have the first 6 terms for us to know the succeeding terms. Okay, how would you know that the number that you're going to add, divide, subtract, or even to multiply will become 2? So here, you're going to multiply 2 by 1. What would be the number that you're going to add times to make it 8? Therefore, 4 times 2. What you're going to multiply to make as a product 18, and that is 9 times 2. So as you can see on the first 3 sequence, we just multiply the factor by 2. So in short, what you're going to multiply on the fourth term to make it 32. So we have 16 times 2. What you're going to multiply to 2 to make it as 50, 25 times 2. The same as in 6th term, which is 72, and that is 36 times 2. So as you can see, you see pattern here. By multiplying all the equation by 2, whole factors by 2. The problem is, as the number goes by, there is an inconsistency in terms of the multiplicand. So that is now what we're going to look for a pattern. Okay, so the third step is about carry out the plan. Let us show it in this way. Okay, so we know that if we're going to multiply 2 by 4, we can have 8. That's it. The same as 2 times 9 equals 18, as well as 2 times 16 equals 32, and the last is 2 times 36. Let us observe to one of the factor. One factor is 2, the same, but the others are different as the number increases. However, that number are all perfect square. So in short, what we're going to do is we're going to expand it through exponential form. So right now we have 2 times 2 to the power of 2, 2 times 3 to the power of 2, 2 times 4 to the power of 2, and so on. And if we're going to have this kind of pattern, let us try to assume a variable or a symbol or a letter that will represent this this expanded factor, and this is what we call n square. So 2n square, where n is the nth term. So in short, in order for us to easily solve the next succeeding terms, so whatever terms this, as long as it follows this sequence, then we can able to solve it using this formula, 2 times n square. Okay, so here, think in this process, we were going to use the what we call the formula we able to have on the third step, and this is 49 times 2, since the square of 7 is 49 multiplied by 2 is 98. So again, just square the term and multiply the result by 2. In short, if we're going to get the 10th term of this sequence, so you're going to multiply 10 times 10, that is 100, then multiply by 2, that is 200. If we're going to go further in getting the next sequence on the 20th term, simply you just multiply 20 itself, that is 400, then multiply by 2, that is 800. Okay, let us have the fourth problem. Okay, the best strategy to be used is working backward. Let us read together. Claire has a certain amount of money in her bank account on Friday morning. During the day, she wrote a check for 24.50 pesos, made an ATM withdrawal of 80 pesos, and deposited a check for 235 pesos. At the end of the day, she saw that her balance was 451.25 pesos. How much money did she have in the bank at the beginning of the day? So again, let us have the first step of George Puglia, the understanding the problem, and the keyword is C. So in this case, what we're going to do, or what we're going to apply as strategy, is what we call working backward. So meaning to say, we're going to do the end to start process. So we cannot have the right answer if we're going to start it at the beginning. In short, we're going to start the solution from the end to the beginning. Okay, so here we have the given 24.50 as the check, 80 pesos for the ATM withdrawal, and 235 pesos for the check deposit. So what is being asked in the problem? So we are asked to get the money she had in the bank at the beginning of the day. Okay, so the second step is devise a plan. Okay, in devising a plan, it's better to bring down all the necessary information in this way. So let's start with the end, which is the 451.25 pesos. Then there are some operation to be used here, and the operation to be used is opposite to the given action. Like for instance, start from 451.25 pesos because that is her balance. Then we're going to subtract it to 235 pesos because in the reality, she made a deposit. Okay, he made a check, which is to deposited a check rather for 235 pesos. But in working backward, instead of adding it, it will becomes subtracting it or deducting it. So that is the opposite work when we have the backward process. Now here, instead of in reality, you're going to get the money from your bank, which is 80 pesos. In backward, you're going to add it. So it's a total opposition to the given action when it comes to the operation to be used. Then lastly, when you wrote a check, you are supposed to get some money from your bank. So here, you simply add it. These are the process for you to solve the certain amount of money she had at the beginning of the day or that morning, Friday morning. Okay, so this is the balance deposited, this is withdrawal, and this is check. Okay, so let us have now the third step, carry out the plan. The keyword is do. So, simply, just follow the sequence, bring down 451.25, subtract means minus, add means plus, and of course, add it. So basically, if we try to simplify it using our own calculator or um, or using our notes for the manual computation, we will arrive at 320.75 pesos. So let us now look back, which is checking and interpreting your answer. So by simply knowing that the amount of money she had at the beginning of the day on Friday morning, she must have 320.75 pesos. So this times in the part of checking, we're going to do the process from the start until the end. So since 320.75 subtracted to 24.50 because she wrote a check, then you're going to another subtraction because she made an ATM withdrawal. Then right after that is addition because he put some money by depositing it, amount of 235. So since the balance at the end of that day is 451.25, then that really satisfy the given equation. So that is what the function of using working backward as the strategy in solving a worded problem. So again, I hope you have a clear understanding on what would be the right way or steps in using the working backward process. Okay, so this time, let us have the fifth problem, and that is about drawing pictures and diagrams as the strategy in solving it. So here we have two cars left at 8 o'clock a.m. from the same point, one traveling east at 50 miles per hour and other traveling south at 60 miles per hour. At what time will they be 300 miles apart? So again, read it more than once so that you can have a partial picture on how to solve this problem. So understand the problem. These are now the given. We know that there are two cars who left the same station at 8 o'clock a.m. with the speed of 50 miles per hour going to east, the first car, and as well as we have 60 miles per hour going to south as the car 2 speed. And they are in a certain time, there will be 300 miles apart. In short, the required is the time when they will be 300 miles apart. So in this case, we're able to really understand that we are trying to solve for the certain time which these two cars will be 300 miles apart, having a speed of 50 miles per hour going to east and 60 miles per hour going to south. So let us have the second step. Devise a plan. So better to draw it or make some diagram for us to give a clear visual on what we are really trying to solve. So here we have the first car going to east, second car is going to south. Okay, so here as we notice their travels form a right triangle. And if it is a right triangle, obviously you can apply a theorem, and we call it as Pythagorean theorem. So in this case, we have x be the first car speed and y be the second car speed. So using this all, we can draw this kind of numbers. So since the first car going to east with the speed of 50 miles per hour, so we can write it in this way, 50 t or time. Then since the second is 60 miles per hour, then we can write it as 60 time. Okay, t is for the time. So we're going to use all the equation to solve for the value of the t or the time required for them to have 300 miles apart. Of course, with the use of Pythagorean theorem because it forms a right angle here. Okay, let us now carry out the plan. So still we have the Pythagorean theorem, we have the value of x and the value of y. Solution is, of course, bring down the Pythagorean theorem. Then before we're going to do the substitution, let us try to extract first or remove first the radical symbol by raising all equation to the power of 2. And it becomes 9,000 x squared plus y squared. So we're able to remove the radical symbol and squaring the 300, it becomes 9,000. So here, we're able to simplify it. Then right after that, we can now use the value of x and the value of y by substitution. So since we know that if we're going to multiply 50 itself and t itself, we have 2500 t squared as well as 3600 t squared. Retain equal 9000. Then since t squared and t squared, they have the same variable as well as exponent, we can add them. We can simplify them. So it becomes 6100 t squared. Then we are very concerned with the time required. So we're going to divide all equation first by numerical coefficient as 6100. So what we have right now is like this. Then right after that, we can remove the 6100 to t squared side. So we have t squared equals 900 over 6100. Then we're going to remove the to the power of 2 by square root all the equation. Okay, so we have radicalizing the equation. So we have like this. We know that the final answer using our calculator is 3.84 hours or 3 hours and 51 minutes. So right now we're able to solve the given time. Okay, so how we able to say that the time required for them to have 300 miles apart? Simply, okay, you're going to add the result time to 8 o'clock a.m. That is 3 hours and 51 minutes. So you add them, the answer is 11:51 a.m. So at exactly 11:51 a.m., the two cars will be 300 miles apart. The problem here is, how did you get 51 minutes from 3.84 hours? So just follow this. We know in 1 hour there are 60 minutes. So simply the 0.84 that is in the hour form, you're going to multiply it by 60. And this is 50.4. Since zero point 0.4 is more than 50 minutes, so you're going to round it up as 51 because it's more than 50. So that is 51. That makes it as 11:51 a.m. Okay, so I hope you're able to use drawing pictures and diagrams as part of the strategy in solving this type of problem. And this is about making lists and tables as part of our strategy to solve the sixth problem. Okay, let us read together. An algebra test consists of 10 multiple choice questions. 10 points are given for each correct answer, and 3 points are deducted for each incorrect answer. If Joshua did all questions and scored 22 points, how many correct answers did he have? So again, the best way to solve this problem is to use the step 1, which is the understanding the problem. Okay, the keyword is see. So if you're going to read it more than once, probably you're able to draw or picture out the possible solution. So right now, let us try to bring down all the different elements or important elements for us to for us to know the possible solution. Okay, we have our given 10 questions answered. Score is equals 22, 10 points for each correct answer, 3 points deducted for each incorrect answers. So as you can see, you're going to answer all the items, which is 10 questions. And right after everything, the score that you must have is 22, considering that for every correct answer, that is 10 points, an incorrect answer will be deducted from that score, which is 3 points. So here, what is the required? Of course, the number of correct answers. Anyway, if we're able to know the number of correct answers, we can also solve the number of incorrect answers for us to have a score of 22. Okay, let us have devise a plan. So since it is making list and table as part of the strategy to solve this problem, so we're going to let the x be the number of correct answer and y be the number of incorrect answer. Okay, so the number of correct answer, x, plus number of incorrect answer y equals score. Okay, so here score equals to 10x plus negative 3y, or simply as score equals 10x minus 3y. How? Because for every correct, the corresponding score is 10. For every incorrect, the corresponding score is 3 points deducted for that point. Okay, so here, how to carry out the plan is, of course, we're going to use the table. So how can we formulate the numbers or the score in each table? So since the required is we're going to answer all the 10 items, assuming that in all items you're able to get all correctly. So 10 is the number of correct, 0 is the number of correct, so 10 times 10 is 100, minus 3 times 0 is 100. Okay, so that is 100 minus 0 is 100. So right now is, if you have make it 9 as correct, and of course 1 to make it 10, so 9 times 10 is 90, 1 times 3 is 3, then 90 minus 3 is 87. The same as here, 8 times 10 is 80, minus 2 times 3 is 6, that is 80 minus 6 is 74. Okay, so do the same process as you go down on the given rows. Okay, so for us not to be misled about the order of the numbers, let us try to do it in a descending order. So of course, right after the 7, it should be 6. If it is 7, it should be 3 would be the incorrect. So that it will equal to 10 items. Then if it is 6, you're going to add it by 4 to make it 10. So if in order for you to get the score, simply substitute all the values of x and y on the given equation. So 6 times 10, that is 60. 4 times 3, that is 12. 60 minus 12 is 48. The same as here, if we have 5. 5 times 10, 50. 5 times 3, 15. 50 minus 15 is 35. And lastly, we have 4 times 10 is 40. 3 times 6 is 18. 40 minus 18 is 22. Then we're able to get the 22 points. That is how we able to have the right answer. In short, from the table you can see that Joshua, who scored 22 points, must have 4 correct answers and 6 incorrect ones. So Joshua had 4 correct answers. Okay, so look back, check, and interpret. For Joshua, x is equals to 4 and y equals to 6. So 4 plus 6 is 10 items, multiple choice. That's it. And therefore, if we're going to multiply 4 by 10, we have 40. If we're going to multiply 3 to 6, we have 18. Okay, then do the simplification, we have 22. So again, how we able to check it? We know that there are 10 items to be answered. Then after everything, you must score 22 points. In considering about the given rules that for every correct answer, you will be scored 10 points. And for every incorrect answers, you will be deducted 3 points. So that is how we're going to use all the different steps made by George Puglia in solving worded problem. I hope this video helps you on how to solve properly, on how to really visualize in solving worded problem. So for now, thank you and God bless everyone. Have a nice day.